everybody, and welcome to Vintage Mego, where we celebrate the golden age of the world's greatest toy company, Mego. I'm Brian, your host, and this week we are talking playsets again with one of the most iconic and popular ones Mego ever made, the Batcave from the world's greatest superheroes collection. So let's begin with the backstory, as we always do. It's 1974, and Mego is following up an explosive 1973. Sales of their world's greatest superhero line were incredible. The expansion that they did for 1974 would be something that forever will live in our hearts. Seriously, I'm not over-embellishing here. If you're watching this, it's probably related somehow to the products made in this 1974 wave. The newest superhero added to the lineup was Shazam, as the Marvel characters in Tarzan had been added in the fall of 1973. Shazam would make his television debut that same year in the fall. He would remain in the lineup until about 1981, making him one of the longest-lived Mego superheroes. That year would see Mego taking bold steps, adding such lines as the Super Gals, which were 4 ladies. That was not commonly done in boys' lines. However, I feel the brightest expansion Mego made this year, action figure-wise, was the addition of the Super Foes. You need bad guys to beat up, and well, this is a really good and strong move by Mego. Not just one villain or a generic villain, but 4 to choose from in the line, and I think that changed action figures forever. When we're talking about the world's greatest superheroes, there's one character that stood out from the rest, and that is Batman. His popularity was buoyed by the syndicated exploits in both live action and in cartoon form. And when you look at the world's greatest superheroes assortment in 1974, 50% of the characters directly correspond with Batman. He is the alpha Mego superhero. Batman is also a dream for toy makers. He has so many gadgets and vehicles that you can slap the Bat logo on almost anything and it makes some sort of sense. This really helped with Mego's 1974 assortment because they included 3 vehicles, all of them Bat vehicles, namely the Batmobile, the Batcycle, and the Batcopter, or the Flying Shoe as I like to call it. That year Mego also released a kind of strange toy called the Supervader, which was brought to them by Marvin Glass and Associates. It's mainly a gimmick item with no comic tie-in. If you do want to see my video on it, click the link above. So it makes sense that the world's greatest superheroes would also need a playset for this year, and the most logical choice would be the Batcave. The Batcave had been Batman's secret headquarters since it was invented by writers for the 1943 movie serial. It was then implemented into the comic books and is now firmly in the pop culture zeitgeist. The words "to the Batcave" from the 1966 television series clearly cemented it there. For the playset, Mego chose to avoid tooling as much as possible, plastic parts. The company was growing and it was still quite small, so it needed to create new product without tying up all their resources into one single item. So the decision was made to create playset using heavy cardboard and vinyl, which is quite similar to what Hasbro and Mattel were doing at the time for G.I. Joe and Big Jim.
Uh-oh, it's the Penguin! And the Joker! What can they be up to? Oh no! Are they going to steal the Batmobile? Can it be? Can they get away with it? Flash the bat signal! The dynamic duo will be needed here for this! I hope they see it! Success! Into action, Robin. The Batcave's computer plots the strategy. They'll need Batcycle and Batcopter for this one. Let's split up and hit them high and low, Boy Wonder. Holy Leap and Batcycle! We've got to capture those dastardly villains. Trapped at the pass! should hold the two of you for a while.
The Batcave playset consisted of two pieces that would expand to a 15-inch by 15-inch play area, which could be folded down to a more compact unit, making it easier to ship. All manufacturing was done in Brooklyn, New York, at a company run by Orthodox Jewish folks who required you to say a prayer before you visited the factory floor, according to Mego president Marty Abrams. Mego would economically reuse this Batcave design for two other playsets that year, namely the Action Jackson Lost Continent, which I've done a video on here, and the Planet of the Apes Village, which I've also done a video on, and the link is above. There is no doubt, however, that this toy was initially designed to be the Batcave first and foremost. There's so many tells that give that away. The set included several accessories, a vinyl mat that simulated a floor, the flashing bat signal, which was repurposed from the Action Jackson Jungle Treehouse from 1973. This was saving some costly tooling, I'm sure. I'm not sure why Batman would have the bat signal in the cave. Does he need to call himself? And I'm also pretty sure it didn't matter to a single kid that got this. The set also included a Batpole and the Bat computer, which we'll get into. Style-wise, like the Batmobile and the Cycle, the Mego Batcave was heavily influenced by the 1966 television series, which they did not technically have the rights to, but the fact remains that the touches, such as the Batpole and the secret entrance, are straight out of the Adam West television series. Also, the drawing on the walls depicts the Batboat from the 1966 TV series as well. So it really is the Adam West Batcave in everything but name. And at that fuzzy time of licensing, nobody blinked at it. It wouldn't be till much later that George Barris would get recognition for his famous design selling millions of toys. The Bat computer, for me, is slightly disappointing, as it's just a folded over piece of heavy cardboard that sits on the floor. It's short and kind of looks like a stereo. It's a minor quibble, but considering the talent and obvious love Mego put into all the other playsets and their design, it just looks a little rushed to me. That did not affect its sales, however. The Batcave was very well received by retailers, especially the Christmas Whoosh book publishers. The playset was prominently featured in the Montgomery Ward, Alden's, Sears, and J.C. Penney catalogs that year and the following 1975 Christmas Wish books. That kind of saturation made it a big get for Christmas. And as one of the people who works on the Mego Museum, I can't tell you how many shots I've been sent of people playing with this set on Christmas morning. It was as influential to future Mego collectors as items like the Planet of the Apes Treehouse and the infamous Star Trek bridge set. There are two different packages for the Mego Batcave, a very large box and a more compact version, which I would imagine came later. There are also multiple mailer box versions from different catalog companies. I've never tried to catalog these, pun intended, but I know for a fact there is a dedicated group of collectors who adore these, and I do understand that. I cannot find any evidence that this playset was ever sold abroad, even here in Canada, where I would bet money it did see release, but I've never seen any evidence of it. It wasn't picked up in any catalogs that I own, and I honestly don't remember it as a kid either. Mego would retire the Batcave playset in 1976 to make way for a new World's Greatest Superhero playset, the Hall of Justice, which I've also done a video on here. However, they would return to the Batcave concept in 1980 for the Pocket Superheroes line, where it would still keep the Batpole concept, but it's a radical design. That's a story for another episode, and one I hope to do in the very near future. The Batcave would see reproduction from Figures Toy Company in 2015, which was honestly a great idea because it could be used as either a collectible or as a toy for your kids today. Their box was also a pretty nice modern reinterpretation of the classic Mego package. I always loved the look of it. The Figures toy also took that same concept and released an officially licensed 1966 Batcave, just like many of us kids wanted back then. So you were able to actually get that fantasy set you wanted as a kid. As of this writing, both of those sets are sold out, so the only way to get them is on the secondary market. Speaking of the secondary market, the Batcave itself is not a terribly expensive piece to track down. This is mainly due to the volume sold, but it can be a bit difficult to find mint and complete. Those little pieces, especially the battery cover for the spotlight. Oh my god. When you're a Mego collector, the Batcave is something of an essential item. I mean, it's Batman's home base, and nearly half the characters feel at home there. So it's one of those things where you just kind of gotta have it. Even though I didn't have this as a kid, it's something I needed in my collection just because it would feel weird if I didn't have it. What's your take on the Batcave? Is it something you had as a kid? Do you have fond memories of it? Do you have it as an adult collector now? You can let me know here in the comments below, or you can hit me up at the Mego Museum forums, or at our Facebook group, Mego Mania, where we're talking Mego 247. That's it for this week, folks. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're new to this, please consider hitting like and subscribe. This is what we do every week. Until next time, I hope you're having fun, and as always, talk toys and not others. Cheers.